Day with Rhe. I'm your host, Rhema T, and this is the show that highlights everyday entrepreneurs. If you haven't been a part of the journey, make sure you tune in so that you can learn about local entrepreneurs and support them, okay? This week, I'm here with my good friend, Randy, who was also on another episode, the compilation, I Love My City, which was in season 2. But I loved his story so much that I asked him to come back so we can get a full episode in. So, Randy, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm doing Monday.
It is a Monday, yes. We were talking off camera, and he says that he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning. If that's you, make sure you comment down below. That is not me. At 3 o'clock, I'm still snoozing. You get what I'm saying? So tell us a little bit about yourself and why it is that you became an entrepreneur.
Well, I was a high school science teacher for 18 years in Richmond, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Came back from Syria in 2017 and figured out that me being a teacher wasn't a good plan anymore. Had other things I needed to take care of.
Yeah.
So took a kind of side hustle of doing farmers market microgreens and hydroponic lettuce, and came down here to Wilmington, and with exactly zero business experience and business knowledge, opened up a brick and mortar urban farm on Castle Street. And it's been through 3 iterations, and now it's becoming a grocery store and a farm. So
okay,
just keeps kind of growing and changing.
Yeah. So the name of your business is Craft Grown Farms, and you kind of hinted on it just a little bit. So your experience as a science teacher, earth and environmental, correct?
And biology.
And biology kind of led you into this journey of what is it?
Hydroponics.
Microgreens.
So it kind of gets big at mushroom clouds.
Okay.
It starts small and gets huge real fast.
Right.
It's the best way to describe it is probably the microgreens are grown in soil. It's the only thing I grow in soil. And then the hydroponic lettuce is there's 3 different ways to grow hydroponically that are easy. One is deep water, the other is NFT, which is nutrient film technique.
Okay.
And then there's another called vertical, but people get a little antsy about what you call it. So it's like, I'm growing the plants without dirt. Let's leave it at that, and we'll go from there. So, but the hydroponics is great because all I have to worry about is air, water, and light. Whereas I don't have to worry about the soil moisture and soil pH and that sort of thing. But I mean, it's an interesting place. You should come visit. Is really the best, without being like a sales pitch. The best way to see it and to understand it is to actually come experience it.
Yes, so. which I did, and let me tell y'all, he literally blew my mind. I walked in there because I was filming the episode I Love My City, and he was just like, "Hey, you want a tour?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And when I say my mind was blown away, what was it? You made me a lettuce salad.
Yep,
a lettuce
taco.
salad. I've never heard of that ever in my life, but it literally changed the way that I enjoyed green food, honestly.
I have an unfair advantage, and I tell people this, is that when I'm pulling leaves off of living plants, the plant hasn't figured out that it's dying. So it hasn't changed how it actually tastes.
Right.
Whereas when you buy anything at any store, it's been dying for a couple of days at a minimum. So I don't pre-harvest anything. I harvest on demand.
Yeah.
So it's always the freshest you can get.
Always the freshest. I like that. So if you're ever in Wilmington, North Carolina, come visit him on Castle Street. And I want to talk about your journey a little bit in a different way. You said that you served in Syria and Iraq.
So yeah, I've done 2 tours overseas. 2010-11, I was in Iraq, pretty much around Balad and Taji. And then 2016-17, I went back to Taji for 3-4 months. And then we ended up in Syria outside of Raqqa for 6 or 7 months. And in the process of, right before I left for that second tour, my neighbor and I had decided that we were going to grow more of our own food. And so food and growing food was really kind of on my mind.
Yeah.
And when I was overseas. It's like middle of a desert, middle of a summer, middle of a civil war. People are growing a ton of fresh vegetables.
Right, right.
Truckloads. And it's like, well, if nobody's trying to kill me, I'm pretty sure I could pull this off at home.
Mm-hmm.
So came home, discovered I shouldn't be teaching anymore. And then, you know, like I said, from there it's history. But really kind of got into using my biology knowledge to like, hey, I can grow plants. I don't need soil. I can do this. I can do that. So all of that time overseas kind of led me back to the dirt, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So.
In those 3 years, you said you had 0 business experience.
Mm-hmm.
How could you best explain in those 3 years how it is that you persevered or were determined to make your business work?
A combination of stubborn and stupid.
Okay.
I think, to be completely fair, I went into it with completely rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, hey, I grow a great product. It's fantastic. I didn't think about marketing. I didn't think about revenue. I didn't think about taxes. Nothing, just grow. And what kind of came out of all of that was, hey, dummy, you've got to deal with taxes. You've got to deal with the revenue. You've got to if the water gets turned off because you didn't check to make sure that the auto pay wasn't turned off for some reason, you have a problem. Just all of the little things that we take for granted when we walk into a business, as the owner, as the business. Like for a long time, it was just me. So I'm growing. I'm doing the front office. I'm doing the back office. I'm cleaning everything. All of those things. The ignorance, as its true definition of just not knowing.
Right.
That was expensive. I learned a lot of expensive. I paid a lot of stupid taxes. Late fees for not filing my taxes on time, and buying seeds and having to pay for them to be expedited because I wasn't managing my inventory well enough. And the stubbornness is that comes from my upbringing. I was taught you do not ever quit. Quitting is never an option, especially for something that you volunteered to do.
Right.
So it's like, crap. I opened up a brick and mortar. I signed a lease. I'm not allowed to quit.
You cannot quit.
So it's what I've learned is, as much as it's really, you look in the mirror like, I'm being noble and sacrificing everything. Like, no, you're being stupid. Bring in somebody who knows how to do social media. Bring in somebody who knows you can at least teach how to grow. Somebody who you can at least, who's personable and charming and can, give the tours. You cannot do it all by yourself. For a little while, sure, but not for too long and not very successfully.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's a lot of letting go of control. And I think most entrepreneurs, most that I've met at least, are like, I can do it all. Like,
no, you cannot. No,
and then
you cannot.
You have that conversation that we just had, which is, how dumb do you really want to be for how long? So.
Yeah. No, I think that's great advice. And even as you're still kind of in your infancy stage, to know that early on, I think is incredible, because it's always, like you said, you're in your 3rd iteration of your business, and business is always changing. And I think when you know or learn how to be fluid in business, that makes you more successful than the people that are stubborn. It's like, I can do it all by myself.
Yeah, and flexibility. Like, I'm glad you mentioned flexibility. A story comes to mind. The Swiss Army knife company, Victorinox, I think is how you pronounce it. After 9/11, and you couldn't take a pocket knife onto a plane, like, that changed their entire business. So they went from that to, I can't remember what their big seller is now, but they went from like pocket knives being 80 or 90% of their sales to being 30%, and they're doing better now because they were able to pivot pretty effectively. And flexibility is not something that I think entrepreneurs want to be.
Absolutely not.
Because it's like, we have this idea, you give birth to this idea, and you go, this is my baby, and then you realize your baby grew up while you weren't looking, and you're going, but wait, that's not my idea.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden you're doing stuff like, I wanted to do nothing but retail, and then I was chasing restaurants, and then now I'm back to doing both. And I'm like, okay.
That wasn't the
plan at
idea
all.
that I wanted.
I'm at a farmer's market, didn't want to do that,
Yeah.
but it works. So, and now the latest is it's becoming a grocery store. I'm like,
Right.
never in my wildest dreams. I didn't think I'd ever be a teacher either, but 18 years after that started. But so now it's like I'm trying to grow that grocery store model, and it's a unique model with a grocery store in front and a farm in the back.
Right.
That's, if you had asked me 3 years ago, hey, where do you want to be in 3 years? This was the last answer
thing.
that, yeah. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about the grocery store, pivot and change that you're starting to make. What does that look like, and how is it that the community can help you progress in that area?
So the idea is that Castle Street is a known food desert. There are a couple of places where you can go and get, like, oh crap, I forgot the peanut butter for the peanut butter and jelly.
Right.
You can go get those. What we don't have, and this is kind of, it's going to take a second, and I apologize, but the idea is to create this, the store that you want to go to. So when I was growing up, we had a little market that I'm trying to duplicate now. Mom would give me $20 and send me down there and be like, hey, I need milk, I need bread, and I get some orange juice and something for you.
Right.
3 hours later, I'd show up with none of the above.
Yeah.
And no money. And she'd be like, what are you
What
doing?
happened?
Like, go back and make it happen. I'm
Yeah.
like, but I was talking to, and it was the entire neighborhood went there. So I would meet my friends, their parents, we would talk about soccer and school, and it was a social place. But you also could get some, like, I forgot it, groceries. Or we used all of the pasta sauce because of whatever, like you dropped a jar, and that's your last one. You don't want to run 20 minutes. And Wilmington's traffic is doing nothing but getting worse.
It's getting worse.
So I want to be that store that's just around the corner where you get home, you get out of the car, and you close the door and you go, oh man, I forgot that thing.
Yeah.
So instead of climbing back in the car, you run inside, you're like, hey, get the dog, let's go, we're taking a walk, and you make it a family adventure. You come up to Craft Grow and you get your pasta sauce, and then you can go over and you can get some coffee at Luna, or get a glass of wine at Wilmington Wine. But it's a community kind of places that I'm trying to build, where the community can come in and have a social time while they're shopping. Like, shopping doesn't have to be put your blinders on and knock your list out. It can be fun, but the community is they're responding. It was actually their idea. So end of last year, September through the new year, there was a pop-up market, kind of a feel of very higher end charcuterie kind of feel, and we've closed that, but people came in like, hey, have you ever thought about just doing regular groceries? And that's kind of that seeded the idea of doing a grocery store.
Okay.
So that then morphed into the idea that just ran through, and but it's the community just come to the shop and tell us what you want.
Okay.
I'm trying not to do without doing some negative marketing. I don't want to be the dollar store.
That's understandable.
I want you to come in and be able to get quality food at a reasonable price, canned or otherwise. But I'm not looking to replace any of the big box grocery stores.
Yeah.
I don't have the space to be that diverse. I don't need to be. I don't think people want another one of those. I think they want a place where they can go and have that kind of neighborhood experience.
Yeah, almost like a intimate shopping experience, not overwhelmed with 13 aisles or something.
Yeah, like 2-3 aisles.
Yeah.
You'll have 3 or 4 choices for lettuce. You'll have 13 choices of microgreens that range from really crazy to holy, that's hot.
Yeah.
To canned goods that are like, there'll be some Del Monte stuff on the shelf, but there's mostly like organic, and I've got vegan stuff in the freezer. I've got great cheese selection. I've got butter, milk, bread, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some produce, good amount of produce is coming, but it's the staples is really what I'm after. So
yeah, just the oh crap, I forgot type stuff. Yeah, I'm here for that. And as you were talking, the community just come in. Can you quickly just tell us the address and your social media handles where they can follow you
Sure.
and your journey at?
The address is 603 Castle Street. If the landmarks, free marketing, Luna Cafe used to be directly across the street. I'm right next to Wilmington Wine and Jester's Cafe. So right there on the corner, there's an empty lot. I'm the next building in.
Right.
What was the other question?
Social media.
Social media. That's it. See, I hate social media. It's at Craft Grown Farms.
Okay.
So Facebook, Instagram. That's where I do most of my social media. And if you have, and I'll tell you honestly, if you come to the shop or you live in the neighborhood or you plan on coming to the neighborhood, email me. Go to my website, craftgrownfarms.com. Hit the contact and tell me what you want to be able to buy.
Okay.
Because it's like, I don't know what people want to eat. I know what I eat, but I don't know what anybody else eats.
So as we talk about that, not knowing what people eat, can we quickly touch on like the different variations of microgreens? Because I know when I came in, like I said, guys, he literally blew me away. He was like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And it did range. It ranged from like spicy. There was some that were like really refreshing, and I know that's like ironic to say like a green was refreshing, but it was like I don't know how else to really explain it. But
so I'll just run through a few. So we've got broccoli, and people are like, "So it tastes like broccoli?" No,
it did not. I remember that one. It did not even taste like broccoli.
It is actually broccoli. It's just microgreens are 7 to 14 days old.
Yeah.
I do broccoli. I do a morning mix for your smoothie that's kind of neutrally flavored but super healthy. I do a salad mix that has 2 lettuces, 2 arugulas, leeks, a couple other plants, and that one tastes like a side salad at any restaurant.
Yep.
But better. Kitchen sink, which has 9 different plants, and it starts with cilantro, ends with red Rambo radish, and it'll wreck Taco Tuesday for you.
Yeah.
It's great for Taco Tuesday. It's great for ceviche. You can use it in a whole bunch of different ways, and then we get into the hot ones. I've got one that you haven't tried that's new. I have a young lady that works for me who has a creative, like a green creative streak that is terrifying to me because I'm like, you're 16, how are you doing this?
Right.
So her name's Mo. She came up with this mix called Spicy Pickle. And it tastes like a spicy pickle.
Oh.
Like people come in and are like, how did you do that? I'm like, blame the kid. But it's fantastic. It's totally fantastic. And then I have straight arugula. I have something called Painkiller, which is arugula and 2 mustards. Mo's mix, which is 5 mustards and just ridiculously hot mustard. I've got another one called Beach Nights that just, if you could describe cozy as a taste, this is what it would be. So it tastes like cozy feels.
Okay.
I got pea, sunflower. I just started growing corn on demand, which is the one.
Yeah, we were talking about that off camera.
Yeah, corn is like the sweetest candy ever.
I gotta try that.
But it's like it's also a short-lived candy. So like once I open it and cut it, it's gotta get
eat
eaten.
it right there.
It's a special order only. I can't keep it in stock unless I know people are buying it. There's some summer specials that will come out for if you're an afternoon cocktail person. Like I do a mix of cantaloupe and borage that if you muddle it with Hendrick's gin or any gin, it will make your Friday afternoon cocktail will be healthy. Wink, wink, nod, nod. You'll get some citrus.
Yeah.
Ish. But it's you get some great melon flavors. I've got a pepper mix that's great on like an ahi tuna.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean there's like 19, 20 different varieties that I can grow, and I've got another one that I'll be unveiling this coming weekend. And I won't even say what it is because somebody will beat me to the punch because it's that good. There's enough microgreen guys here.
Off camera also where
I'll
you wouldn't tell me.
Come by the shop. I'll make it. I need a couple of days to get it done, but I'll make a little.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
You're gonna come back and be like, we got to shoot this again.
Yeah. Look, you know I will.
And I'm okay with that. So.
Yeah. What was the flour that you had me eat?
Nasturtium.
Never eaten a flower in my entire life, besides honeysuckle, but that, I mean, like, that doesn't count. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be sweet. It's a flower. It was spicy and hot, y'all.
So the cool thing about nasturtium, you can actually, I'm going to grow it in hanging baskets. You can hang it, or you can throw the seed in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You can eat the leaves, you can eat the flower, and the leaves to me taste like medicine, but that's, my taste buds are blown from
Okay.
MREs.
Yeah.
7 months, same 11. So, yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you gonna have any other flower variants, or are you gonna just stick with that?
I'll probably stick to just the nasturtium for
Mm-hmm.
now. I have a limited amount of space, and the flowers, typically you need a lot of them.
Got it.
So nasturtium, it's kind of for personal use.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Yeah. Well, if you haven't been educated in this episode, you now fully got a science lesson from a prior science teacher who changed the way that I look at greens. And I hope that you stop by and that he can also change your way of looking and eating greens. I have like 2 more questions. The first being, which we kind of tapped in, but overall, like, how would you want, besides stopping in the community, to help craft grown farms?
Just come visit, spread the word. I mean, realistically, the best, it's just like, so you're a living example of this. Is I can sit here and talk about it, you can sit here and say how great it is, but until you experience it,
Yeah.
it's
not the same.
Words
Yeah.
will never do it justice. So, like a lettuce taco, if you have problems with people eating lettuce, I can probably help.
Mm-hmm.
Just come by the shop, ask for a sample. It's a free thing. Like,
Yeah.
if I could get away with giving away samples and microgreens all day without money, without charging anything, I would. But unfortunately,
Yeah.
But
Rent
so
like those
yeah, my landlord wants his check. But otherwise, just come by the shop, tell us what you want to be able to buy, and have the experience, and then tell everybody you know.
Yeah.
Bring them back. I'll happily give the tour again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, from the community, that's what I would love to see.
Yeah,
So.
I would love to see it also. And then my last question is, what advice would you give someone that's looking to be an entrepreneur?
So I'm glad you asked this question, because I have a young lady who is opening a business on Castle Street with her partner, and having gone through the massive 3-year case of the stupids, if I were to do this again, the advice that I would give myself is go to places like the Small Business Association, SBA, the government website. It looks like a lot of common sense stuff that nobody ever does. Like, you don't need a 27-page business plan. You need a bullet business plan that says, this is my goal. In 1 year I want to be here. In 3 years I want to be here. In 5 years I want to be here. Do market research.
Right.
It's like, I'm the only person in Wilmington who grows hydroponically in his shop. There are other people that grow microgreens and grow lettuce, and they grow them in a lot of different ways. But had I gone and done research, I would probably have done this differently. At least I would have then known marketing matters.
Right, it does.
So get your budget and figure out what's more important, getting the word out or looking good in the shop. And the answer is yes, both are. You've got to make decisions. So do your research on your planned business. Check your competition. If you're looking to open a business but you're the only one, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
There's another business, and without doing too many free plugs, it's the Mongolian Grill place up, I think it's on South College. It's the only one in Wilmington. And I was like, how can that, because I was craving it the other day. I was looking for Mongolian barbecue, and I was like, it's the only one I could find. So if you're the only one, that matters. But if you're the only one, it also means that you have kind of cornered the market. You better make good use of that. the most important thing though is wake up every morning and look in the mirror and say, today might be hard, but I'm gonna make progress today. There are gonna be more hard days than easy days for a long time. I'm year 3 and I'm still waiting for an easy day.
Yeah.
I think there might have been one yesterday, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I might have missed it. But it's you have to have grit. You
Right.
cannot and you can't have thin skin if your feelings get hurt easily. Probably not a good plan to go into business because not everybody's gonna like it.
You're right.
You know,
Right.
every now and again somebody will put up a review and be like, Randy was mean or he talks too much. I'm like, I know I talk too much, but I got a lot to say. Can't take it personally.
Right.
So you got to be thick-skinned. You got to have grit. The list of that, like we could do a whole 40 minutes on just
advice,
good ideas for being an entrepreneur and bad ideas.
Right.
So, but I do want to say this is as much as I would like to think that my advice of what to do is a good thing, I can tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
Do not let your ego get in the way, but also don't allow that look in the mirror to become a, I can't. If it becomes a doubt, kill it immediately. Take it out back, beat it to death, bury it.
Right.
You have to have confidence. Because if you're not confident, it portrays. It conveys from.
Yeah.
Because imagine how different that tour would have been if I was like, yeah, this is kind of good.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really believe in what you're doing. So
yeah, it's your baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to sacrifice everything you are and everything you have for a few years, like think 5, because most businesses don't make it 5 years. I'm like, how am I 3 years in and I'm ready? You gotta get past it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've only got it off.
Yep, I got 2 more years to make it work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the 5-year timeline.
Yeah,
So.
and you get up again at 3 o'clock in the morning and
dogs got to get walked. So I get up, I walk the dogs, I do my morning thing, and, spend more time making yourself better. What's the word I'm looking for? Self-development.
Yeah.
If you've got to get better, like I am doing classes on social media because I hate social media.
Right. And it's such an important thing
I suck
where we're at now.
Yeah, I suck at it. Like my social media, if you look at my posts on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see they're getting better, but only incrementally so. But better is better. 1% is better than no change.
That's absolutely true.
So get up and just be better tonight than you were this morning.
Yeah, and the self-acknowledgement, even though what you said now, it's just like, I know that I'm not good in this area. Okay, what can I do to improve myself because I have to make this work?
Yeah, you can't sit and beat yourself up about, I suck at this, I suck at this. Okay, cool.
How are you gonna
suck
fix
at it.
Yeah.
Now you got to fix it.
Right.
You can't suck at it and do well.
Right. So. Right. On a personal note, I sucked at producing this show. No, I'm just kidding. But that's why I did some self-reflection, and that's why I have someone behind the camera now. So it really is just about getting to where you want to be, but it's going to take yourself to keep on pushing and get where you want to be at.
The one thing that I forgot that is probably as important as having grit and thick skin is have a support system.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to do it alone, emotionally or physically.
Right.
So if you don't have somebody to vent to, and the bottom of a bottle is not a good person to vent to.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's oof.
You got to have somebody who you can just dump on.
Yeah.
Who's going to look at you and be like, "Great, can I go now?"
Yeah.
I mean, most times you're not going to need advice or input. You're just going to need to get that energy going.
That's so true.
And if you're starting a new business, come by the shop, 603, and I will happily donate my time to you. You can come and I'll put you to work, or at least I'll listen while I work.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go.
I didn't have that, and I think it's invaluable.
Yeah, it is. It is to find that community, not only your person to vent to, but just to bounce off of, and again, being around an environment that one understands, but also if you don't feel like you can push yourself, that they'll push you on the back and be like, you got to keep going because what you're doing is invaluable, and you especially, I mean, what you're doing is so community driven, and it's needed. So if you're watching out there, this is your time to support a local business. Not all support is monetary. You can always like, comment, share, send this stuff to a friend that's here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Don't think that you have to, oh, I don't have, XYZ. Not all support is monetary. So Randy, I want to thank you for coming on the show for not one time, but twice now. This was such an informative episode. Maybe I'll bring you on again and we can do some test tries.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. I want to thank Channel for letting us use the space. My new best friend and producer Drew out there, which that's my announcement of who my producer is for season 3. So shout out to Rich North Media. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, make sure you support a local business. I'm Rhema T. Bye.